Hey, it's Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. This is the first time we are going live officially on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So hopefully you're there with one of us. And we're just a couple minutes before both Barcelona versus PSG and Leipzig hosting Liverpool via Budapest, Hungary. Due to COVID protocol. So it should be an interesting one. I myself will be, of course, following the Red Men, sporting the Mo Salah today. And I've got my buddy Big Ears to co-host with me. So hopefully Liverpool can break the duck on the terrible run that we've been on. So just bear with us till we get started. We've got, let me just say hello to everyone in the comments here. Oh my goodness. That was my GoPro that just fell. Whoops. Alrighty then. Like that. And anyway, let me know if there are any troubles with the stream or the comments or anything like that. But I love this new interface. You've got the clock, which will be right here, and the scoreboard, and it looks a lot nicer and prettier than the scene that I had set up before. And also this should allow us to take some video calls at some point, which will be very exciting. And I'll just run through the I will run through the lineups momentarily. There's only one change for the Liverpool team that face Leicester, and beautiful. Just checking. My Twitter's got the stream going. It's all very exciting for me. And let's see. So yeah, like I said, we've got Ali in goal, Robbo, Kabak, Hendo, Trent, then midfield trio of Curtis, Thiago, and Genie, and then the famous front three. I won't go through the Leipzig lineup, mostly because I don't know most of their players. They do have a former Liverpool youth product, Peter Galaxy, as a goalkeeper. But yeah, let me know what anybody thinks about the Liverpool lineup. Of course, we've got Hendo playing out of position again. I suppose Klopp doesn't really have much in the way of options as far as really using anybody else. Obviously, this is a huge game for Liverpool. Many would argue, the only real exciting portion of our season remaining would be to make a Champions League run, since the league campaign has sort of fallen apart. But we'll see. I think that we have interesting. They're showing the Leipzig lineup on screen, and you got Tyler Adams, the American, in they're showing on screen in an attacking front three. Not sure I believe that as the lineup. Him playing left wing, Danny Olmo as the central forward or striker, and then Nkunku on the right. My app showed Nkunku through the middle, but anyway, I guess we'll see momentarily, as here comes the coin flip. Liverpool wearing the checkerboard black. It's interesting. Liverpool's kits this season have they were definitely controversial when they came out. The turquoise underwater strange away kit and the black and pink checkerboard one. They're both one of those kits that I think that could go either way, and I think that either way is sort of determined by the memorable games that you have in them. And I'm pretty sure that the drubbing we took from Aston Villa was the black. I think I'm right in that. So I already sort of wasn't a fan of uh, the checkerboard one when it came out. I remember back in the summer there was a prototype that was sent out that was way more subtle. It was like a very faint black checkerboard. Here, let me get the game clock. Make sure that that's correct. Once we get started here, and the ref is about to start his whistle, and boom, there we go. All right, we're underway here. Anyway, as I was saying, I wish Nike had gone with the prototype that I had seen as opposed to this more pronounced black kit. And then Leipzig has given away possession in their own territory, and Thiago takes over, switches it over to Salah. Trent gets a ball in, but a little hectic start here. Only 34 seconds in. But certainly good to see Liverpool applying the pressure. And I'm not really sure what to expect. I mean, I know Leipzig is what I expect from Leipzig is a lot of energy. Again, I won't claim to know. I won't claim to know their style so well, as I'm not a Bundesliga enthusiast, but I do respect their manager, Nagelsmann, of course, one of the hot young coaches. And anyway, what I expect is a lot of energy. I'm not quite sure who will dominate the ball more so far in this little minute and a half snippet. It does seem like Liverpool may be the more dominant team. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, a lot of in Liverpool's season that we've had, I have gotten sort of a sense of how matches will go just in the first 5 to 10 minutes, the intensity levels that Liverpool have, or if it just seems like it's one of those days where, we expect to overcome a Brighton and, they just sit back and then it gets to be the 60th minute. I feel like you get a sense for those games pretty early, or, if you're seeing a Liverpool team that's really trying to lay a marker down, then that is also shown from the outset. Wow, that was a forceful challenge from number 22 from Leipzig. He went up a little bit early and kind of knocked Curtis in the head from the backside. I don't think he was expecting that, and so Liverpool gets a free kick there. Yeah, as I was saying about Leipzig's lineup that was shown on screen, I'm sure that CBS just displays what they've been given from the coaching staff, or however that works, but it seems like it couldn't be more wrong as far as the actual on-field lineup, because Tyler Adams is currently in a right back position as opposed to the left wing that they first started with. on screen. Let me know in the comments, anybody that's here with me, what result you would take from Liverpool. I myself texted my buddies last night and just said, I will take Liverpool scoring 2 goals, regardless of the result, very happily, even if it's a 4-2 loss or something like that. Of course, not praying for a loss, but I think just the run that Liverpool is in, frankly, I don't. Oh my goodness! Wow, Leipzig almost broke through there and scored. Kind of a flash of a chance, almost out of nothing, but a ball in from the left-hand side. There was a header. I don't want to say. I'm not sure who it was. Oh, and the ref is frantically giving a yellow card to number 8, Haidara, on Leipzig. Perhaps he said something, because the referee did not look pleased as he brandished that booking. But yeah, Leipzig very quickly, the first big chance of the game, very nearly slipped in on the lower left-hand side of the goal. Alisson may have tipped it onto the post. Let's see this again. The ball was played out wide by Sabitzer to Angelino, who was possibly offside. And it was Danny Olmo with a diving header, hits the post, hits the backside of Alisson, and Alisson, I think it grazes him on the way across the goal. And Liverpool definitely lucky there that we don't find ourselves 1-0 behind. Let's see here. Some nice work by Bobby Firmino, working back despite being our center forward. He wins the ball back in sort of the left midfield position, but Liverpool can't really keep possession. Angelino, how do I pronounce it? Is it Angelino? Plays the ball forward, but Alisson collects, and then he punts the ball upfield in the direction of Sadio. Neither team really keeping possession too well, but there is a good tempo to this game. Of course, the big news this week has been Upamecano agreeing to join Bayern. Up as Leipzig are on the attack here, Sabitzer looked way offside by this ball over the top, and again, 5 seconds too late. The referee listens to or communicates with his linesman and calls the offside. It's really been a pet peeve of a lot of fans recently that for whatever reason refs just let the play continue in something that's pretty blatantly offside, and we're all just waiting with bated breath on the first injury to come of that, which nobody will want to see. And once again, my views on VAR are that we never needed it in the first place. It's a overly ambitious pursuit of perfection, which will never actually be attainable. And it's led to the referees really taking a hit of confidence and much poorer refereeing. But anyway, you can see more of my thoughts on VAR. I try to keep my commentary on it as limited as possible because it's not, it's a soul-sucking conversation, but you can see more of my commentary on that if you wish on my website. But alas, we're back to the game. Again, let me know, any of you watching, where you're watching from, where in the world, what your thoughts are. Again, who you support. Hopefully the Reds of Liverpool, and what kind of result that you're expecting or hoping for today. Of course, we all hope that we can get a win, but like I said, rather than predict a result, because Liverpool's performances have been so erratic this season, I have opted to predict for goals scored, and I'm hoping that it's two. You know, Liverpool this season have been erratic. Oh, speaking of erratic, that throw-in by Leipzig, they thought would be nice and easy back to their defensive line to reset, and Sadio Mane was hot on the heels of that ball, and it almost resulted in a gift of a counterattack. Ball was then played to Mo Salah out onto the right wing. Leipzig was pretty good in retreating and covering. And now here we have in the 10th or 11th minute, we've got a Liverpool corner. So let's see if we can get an effort on goal. Bobby rises for it, but no clean contact, and Leipzig breaking away. Whoa, there's a little battle there between Tyler Adams and Curtis Jones. I'm curious what their ages are. To Tyler Adams is a young, or yeah, he's 22 years old. Sometimes you get players that are referred to as young, like the famous young Jack Grealish, who ends up being 26, or Lingard. But no, in fact, Tyler Adams is actually only 22, which I'm even a little surprised at. Again, considered to be a young talent, but obviously coming from America, a whole lot of the American system is, although not the ideal way, and I think most of America's best prospects coming through don't come through the college system. But I was kind of wondering if he had, but doesn't seem to be the case. It does seem to be an interesting game for the neutral, maybe for the cultured coach. Looking at you, Coach Sukar, may not be the best game to. I mean, listen, it's an interesting game in terms of chess pieces, and I won't even say I'm smart enough to really break down and see who's winning this tactical battle as of right now. I mean, I might even argue that, Salah tried to find the feet of Bobby Firmino. But yeah, I mean, this kind of proves my point. Is there's a bunch of fast breaks, and a lot of pressing and tackling in the midfield. And again, for the neutral perspective, I think that it's definitely an intriguing game. This is not a game that's going to put you to sleep by any means. But from the coaching perspective so far, I do think that both teams, and not to say to slow down the tempo of the game. Wow, nice first time ball. This is just a replay from that Salah to Firmino chance, or effort, I should say, rather than a chance, but a first-time ball from Thiago setting Mo free. It looked like Salah was offside just in real time, but on the replay, you'd see that he's a good 5 yards behind the halfway line, so no threat of offside there. Here's Allison with the ball at his feet, fakes one way, fakes another, and then gives it to Henderson as we try to pass out of the back. But as I was saying, tactically speaking, if I'm Klopp, Trent plays a beautiful ball into Mo Salah, who is through on goal, and that was a chance that you expect Salah to finish. He was one-on-one with the keeper, who makes a good save, and Firmino's put through again. He was kind of running a little bit away from goal, but still had enough of an angle where you'd expect a bit better from him. He lashes it right into the side netting, but not the side netting that Liverpool fans are hoping for, but rather the outside of the goal, resulting in a goal kick. Yeah, just one more time to finish on how I would change this game tactically. I would possibly slow things down, if not keep the tempo, but just focus on possession a little bit more. I know that neither one of these teams is really a possession team. It's more of a counter pressing, high pressing, just get the ball and break kind of teams. But neither team have been able to prove that they're able to really keep possession or do anything really with it. No, I'm sorry. We've got a commenter, Adris Suricate. I'm not sure if that's I'm sure that's not how to pronounce your name. I apologize. He said, "Can you show us the TV and continue to comment in live?" Unfortunately, no. I'm trying not to get shut down, and that would be a breach of copyright. So I'm afraid you'll have to find your own stream, depending on what what country you're watching from. Here in the U.S., it is. Oh, he said, "You can save my evening. I didn't find the live anywhere." No, I'm sorry, I can't help you out. I don't know. Try Googling watch live or find a stream somewhere. But anyway, yeah, here in the United States, unfortunately, CBS has joined pretty much everybody else, but I was going to say Peacock in putting this behind a paywall. And it's on CBS All Access. I think you can, if you are in the United States, try signing up for a 1 week free on CBS All Access. If you create a new account, which I've created a bunch so far, you can get 1 week free, and looked like a Leipzig chance was going to materialize, but Angelino, first time volley goes out almost for a throw, and I think it went out for a goal kick. Allison looking very frustrated. Obviously, it's been a very frustrating couple of games. You said my name correctly. Okay, I will watch you commenting the match. It's better than nothing. Yeah, good deal, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully you'll follow me in the future as well. But yeah, I guess I should say before I forget, please follow me on Twitch at Beatty's Beat, BEATYSBEAT, on Twitch, as well as Twitter and Instagram, the same name. And in all of those places, you'll also be able to find a link to my YouTube, which is called Beatty's Beat as well. Unfortunately, right now, I don't have the customized URL that just makes it nice and easy for me to say youtube.com/Beatty's Beat, but I'm available all those places. And yeah, so Also, thank you to Restream, these guys, using their free platform to broadcast across all three of my platforms, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, which has been great. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm new to this watch along game and just starting out. And anyway, let me get back to the match. But yeah, I just ask that anybody watching, please interact and let me know where you're from, and please give me a follow. I'll come back in a few minutes. Can you just give me the scores, please? And I just go, okay. Yeah, it's 0-0 in the Leipzig and Liverpool game. Trent with a beautiful ball through to Salah, who is matched in a foot race by Upamecano, and the ball goes out of play. I believe Barcelona PSG is also 0-0, so I can keep you guys updated on that game as well. But yeah, keep your comments coming. Yeah, Dries, let me know what team you're a fan of, and maybe a prediction for this game. Again, with you being a new, sorry, my English speaking is not correct. I'm French. I didn't speak English since 7 years ago. Oh, wow. I mean, your English is pretty good, considering you're relatively new to it. Just say the scores, please. It is 0-0 in the Leipzig game and Liverpool, and it is 0-0 also in the Barcelona PSG game. I've also got the score right here. So this will be updated. This will be updated when and if Liverpool score. Ball played up to Salah, who's doing Salah. It looks like, with Leipzig being such an athletic team. Hang on a second. We've got Robbo playing a ball in. They headed away. The energy levels are amazing for both of these teams. I mean, we're already more than halfway through the season. And this is certainly going to be a priority for both of these teams in the Champions League, making these runs. And they're showing it. They're definitely showing the effort that they really prioritize this game, because the energy levels are off the charts. I mean, I think that you will see that if you're into that sort of thing, checking out like the sprinting stats and kilometers covered after the game. I think those numbers are going to be quite high. But anyway, as I was saying about Salah, I think that he's not even necessarily used as a decoy, but I think that one ball over the top and him beating his defender and going through in on goal, it might happen here and there, but what's it called? Oh, Trent gets the ball in a promising position, attempts a cross, but it gets cleared away. Anyway, I'm sorry, back to Salah. I was saying that it looks like Liverpool are trying to find him on the break, as we normally would in the Premier League, but this Leipzig team, at least so far, has been able to match his pace. And so I think that if you play the ball up to him, he's done a pretty good job of latching onto the ball so far and getting a bit of joy by laying it off to Curtis or something like that, and then maybe 1-2 or something like that. But just playing that Hail Mary ball and having him run onto it and just running downhill on the pitch is a little too simplistic for this Leipzig team, which I think is a credit to them, the way that they're set up defensively as well as individually defensively. There have been some duels happening so far, and the Leipzig defenders have done quite well. I'd also be interested on the possession stats so far. I would say Liverpool are probably 55 to 60%. All right. Adris said, seems like he's got to go. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for the follow. He said, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Cross in from Firmino to Mane, who had a bit of CR7 hang time on that cross. He jumped early and, like I said, got that hang time, but it was just one of those that you can see he's kind of falling a bit as he actually makes contact with the ball, which makes it very difficult. You get that little bit of fatigue right as you're reaching for the header, and it just goes over. But Klopp is shown there, and he seems to be appreciating the effort, and he wants to see more of it. So, oh, here's Curtis driving forward. See, this is the beauty of Curtis. I think he's exactly what Liverpool need at this moment in our season. He really just picks the ball up, great energy, great intention, and just drives forward. And I think that that's, almost regardless of who you're playing. I mean, against Leipzig, who is like sort of a very open, but also they're an open team to play against because there's little patches of space that you can explore. But then they're also quite good at closing in once those gaps do get created. So for now, I would just call them, whether it's an open team like Leipzig that you're coming against, or a team like, West Brom or whatever, where they really sit back and absorb the pressure, or even like a United, something like that. I do think that Curtis is great in both of those situations because he's not afraid to get stuck in, not afraid to chase down or any of that. And on the ball, he really runs at the defense, which causes them to make a decision to come, sort out the impending danger of him running directly at you. So, which then frees, other players up. And I think that that's what Liverpool have been really calling out for is, a player like that. I mean, everybody loves to point out players like, oh, we need like a Coutinho or, whatever people think of Thiago, that's going to carve open defenses or something like that. But sometimes it's just as simple as, trying something different and running right at the defense and forcing them to make a decision, like a Steven Gerrard would do stuff like that, or Naby Keita is very good at that, is very brave runner with the ball at his feet. And I think that Curtis is very good instinctively like that. Oh, ball comes into Firmino, and I don't know if he made the best contact. He did have sort of a man on him. Yep, here's a replay, first time ball in from Trent. And Firmino takes a shank at it, and he might have hit the ground first, but in any case, the danger is averted from Leipzig, goes out for a goal kick. What is the weather like? What is the weather like for the match, I presume you're asking? Not here in New Jersey, where I'm broadcasting from. The weather, there's no precipitation or anything. A lot of the players are wearing long sleeves, so interesting request. I don't know if I've ever gotten that before, but let's see. I will surely answer that for you. Budapest weather. It is 32 Fahrenheit, also known as 0 degrees Celsius. I guess that's an easy conversion since that's freezing point. So yeah, it's definitely chilly there, it seems like. Like I said, most players wearing long sleeves, but no precip. Yes, Jim Wilson saying the pitch, so they're playing pretty fast. Yeah, I mean, again, certainly I'll pay a little bit more attention to the pitch itself, but the tempo of this game has been very fast. A lot of aerial balls too, but there's Tyler Adams on the ball. There's an aerial one. Trent very calmly chests the ball back to Allison, who throws it out to Firmino. Yeah, the pitch looks perfect. I don't see any divots or any like rundown situation. Um, I'm not quite sure whose home stadium this is. It's the Puskás Arena. Of course, Ferenc Puskás, the Hungarian legend, who played back in the 50s or 60s, obviously before my time. So my guess is it would be the Hungarian National Stadium. But yeah, it looks like a beautiful, beautiful arena, and the pitch is in perfect shape. So hopefully that answers your question. Here comes, I almost called them Salzburg. Here comes Leipzig. Angelino. They seem to be looking for him, Leipzig, that is, in terms of attack. Most of their attacks, I would say, have come from the left wing. Again, very interesting player. I'm not even sure how old he is. My guess is 23, 24, but yeah, I'm not even sure where he came from. City bought him like 2 years ago. I think maybe it was from like PSV or Dutch club or something. That was sort of a weird one because when City buys a player, typically you'd think that you'd heard of him before, but not for me at least. And I think he's just on loan to Leipzig from City. Oh, a beautiful ball over the top by Robbo to Sadio Mane. Keeper comes out to clear, and Robbo tries to chip him. Oh, unbelievable effort in the 32nd minute here. That hit either the crossbar or the post. That was a delicious effort. And that was even, and Galaxy's down here, colliding with the post. Jeez, look at this beautiful ball over the top to Robbo. Galaxy clears it probably 30 yards from goal, and then it comes out to Robertson, who's probably a good 40 to 45 yards from goal, and really gives Galaxy a scare there, who scampers back into his net. And I don't think he collided with the post, but certainly was an ugly one where he's diving backwards and he gets caught in, his head got caught in the corner of the net. So Jim Wilson says, curious your thought on the Reds organization and defense. Virgil missed so badly against Leicester. Listen, Jim, he's been missed all season. I think no matter what team you are in the world, anytime, any place, COVID or not, Virgil van Dijk is the best defender in the world. I think two seasons ago, the season we won the Champions League, I think that he was the best player in the world, and I think he got robbed in the Ballon d'Or. But anyway, let me cut to give you a concise answer and say, yeah, I mean, not only his quality being missed, but just what his absence does to the team. I mean, I've been saying it for weeks now, and now it's really become a very popular opinion to say, Henderson's missed in midfield. And it just, please check out my website. You'll find it on my Twitter. And I did an article on right after we lost to City, how it could be the best thing to happen for us in terms of managing our expectations. And I really go into how football is a complex system, and just particularly in such a demanding system such as Klopp's, it's so many things are interconnected and interwoven that you take out Virgil and just the complexity of not only the impact, but trying to find solutions for that, whether it's quality, whether it's team chemistry off of that. And certainly taking Henderson's presence out of midfield, I think we're really, seeing that and suffering from that right now. And I think also, too, what we can learn about Liverpool's struggles right now is I think it's really glorifying just how good this team has been over the last 2 years and the accomplishment. I was already saying it in terms of last season being one of the best Premier League champions we've ever seen. Just the run that we went on up until we lost to Watford. And then, listen, everybody knows we won the league before the COVID break, and then, your motivation levels drop. So you can forget about any of the, really the points we dropped after clinching the league. But yeah, just the unrelenting pace that we set and the records. You can get records fatigue. And I'm sure especially rival fans were experiencing that in terms of all the records we broke on a weekly basis. Here's Firmino on the edge of the box, plays it out to Mane. Get a shot on goal, please. Oh, unbelievable. Tell me that counts. That's got to be a goal. You've got Mane who cut inside and tried to bend the ball far post. It was well defended and blocked. The block resulted in the ball kind of spiraling a little bit more towards the byline, where Mane goes to take a rip on the volley, kind of whiffs at that, and then Upamecano trying to guard the ball out of bounds. And it seemed to me like Mane saved the ball, scooped it more towards the top of the box, finding Firmino, who had a diving header from 3 yards to score. And that goal should count. Okay. So play goes on, and there did not seem to be any VAR check. I'm not sure about the ruling as far as the VAR jurisdiction, whether the ball went out of bounds or not. The eyeballs of the assistant referee on the far side, I will say, he judged it to be out of bounds. They did play a quick replay. Nothing I could really see to come up with. Oh, and here's Allison, 30 yards from goal, and volleys it out of play. I guess kind of a nice sight for Liverpool fans. Okay, here's the replay. And Mane, it was close. It did, at a quick glance, it looked like it probably was out of play. Again, I would not say conclusive, and I would like to watch that replay a good maybe 3 times to make a final decision on that. But frustrating that Liverpool couldn't get the opener there. So yeah, Jim, hopefully I answered your question there. As far as Virgil's impact, of course, I'm a bit of a rambler, and but I do think that kind of zooming out and getting that broader sight on the team as a whole is relevant, and it's all connected. So yeah, we sorely miss Virgil, and then you really can't plan for having your 2 next center backs in line go out for the rest of the season. Even though my buddy Lee will tell you that they're injury prone, and that was to be expected. Sure, they're injury prone, and yes, you expect them to go down with injuries, but not your top three center backs all missing at the same time. And but anyway, Klopp will deal with the cards that he's been dealt, as we all must do. And but yeah, I mean, we're looking good. We'll get back to really the context of this game. I'm happy as a Liverpool fan in this first half. Here's Mane on the left-hand side, playing it centrally to Gini Wijnaldum. Back to Kabak. Kabak has looked confident. I haven't really said much about him today, but I'm pleased with his performance. Yeah, I mean, really just his confidence is really the first thing that comes to mind, which, you know, is a great thing to say. And even considering, I wasn't overly impressed with his debut against Leicester. I'll get back to your comments in a second, Jim. I wasn't overly impressed with Kabak's debut performance. Again, it's a debut performance. It's going to take some time. It is just unfortunate that he got embroiled in a hilarious and unfortunate sequence of events that led to Leicester's second and winning goal. And whatever, you can comment on that separately. This isn't a Leicester recap. But yeah, I mean, I think that there were some concerning things. Oh, here comes Kabak. We don't love to see, looking a little Lovren-esque. He kind of gets away with it. What I personally hated about Lovren was his over anticipation, I would call it. He was way too aggressive as a defender, and he often went for balls that he had no business going for, and then that leaves of your defense very exposed since you're out of position. Reminds me of, don't get me wrong, I never played basketball at any sort of level, but I remember my middle school basketball teacher telling me, coach rather, tell me that if you're playing defense in basketball and there's a ball going that you feel you can intercept, you have to be 110% sure that you can get that ball, because if you go and you lurch for it and you miss and that ball gets through, then you just left your team completely gaping. And that's what Lovren reminded me of. So while a lot of fans might say, oh, we really can use Lovren right now, I was not sorry to see him leave, and I don't regret that either. I mean, still, Lovren's going to Lovren. That's my opinion. He's not going to change. He has a very strong personality. Back to Jim's comment, totally agree with you on Virgil's value. I meant specifically this match. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say. Not that I've forgotten what it's like to have Virgil. He's the Rolls Royce of center backs and just makes everything look so easy while he's running, 37 kilometers per hour down the pitch. But yeah, I mean, I think I just spoke enough on, what Kabak has showed today. And, Henderson also has shown us, it's been a pretty typical Henderson at center back performance, which, again, I think he's been very good. It's interesting, I think, when you talk about both Henderson and Fabinho at center back, that they've both put in some very good performances. I mean, I stand by saying that I think Fabinho is a top 3 center back in the world at this current moment, which is ridiculous to say because prior to this season, I had never even seen him play at center back. But that just goes to show his quality, just as he is one of the most intelligent footballers on the planet. And that just goes to show in his man marking, his tackling, his timing, everything, the positions he takes up on the pitch. And so he's been immense at center back. So, I wouldn't even hate it. I guess it's a completely different conversation to have when everybody's healthy. Who are you playing? That's a little bit out of reach, because obviously that's kind of months away. But I would say, I would not hate it for a second if, going into next season, Klopp decided that our center back pairing was Fabinho and Virgil. Of course, you'd lose his impact in the midfield, but I think the impact you miss in the midfield really more so is that Henderson impact. I mean, even last season when things were going super, super well, even if Henderson, had like a groin strain or something and we missed him, I think even in games that we went on to win, I think you could still see his impact, that we struggled when his presence wasn't there, because Henderson doesn't shut up. He's just barking, ordering people around and keeping that intensity. And it's all just this complex system of Klopp system as a whole, Henderson not having that presence in midfield, the intensity that we're missing from the fans, which we certainly are. And, to a non-Liverpool fan, it probably sounds like an excuse, but, not having fans in the stands has really been a huge detriment to Liverpool this season, because we've lived so much on it. In every season really, but particularly the last 2 seasons have been a huge factor in our success in maintaining that intensity. And so anyway, I think that Henderson is probably the next best thing. Henderson in midfield is the next best thing to maintaining intensity for the rest of the players on the pitch, if you can't have fans in the stadium. So I think Henderson, it's paramount to get him back into the midfield as soon as we can. Hopefully Klopp is just waiting for Kabak to feel, super comfortable there as center back himself. I mean, listen, he's only 20 years old. And listen, I'm not about to jump on the Kabak train either. I don't know what we have in him. I'm optimistic. I always tend to be optimistic with Liverpool players. And that wraps up the half. So I will be concluding for a little break in a second, but I'll just finish that point on Kabak. Again, we'll see. I don't want to rush to judgment on him. We'll see. He's a young kid. He's got a good frame. We'll see on the pace. He did seem a little bit slow. That said, I think he was coming up against Vardy against Leicester. But, as for today's performance, he's been good so far. I wouldn't say he's been individually tested so much, but pretty good so far. And, as I was saying, the sooner we can get Hendo back into midfield, the better. So who knows? Maybe Klopp will have the balls to play Kabak and Phillips together in the back, or Kabak and Reece or Davies. Again, any Liverpool fans lying to themselves if they're saying that, you got to get Davies in there, because listen, nobody's watching Preston, and so anyway, time will tell. But 0-0 at the first half. I will be back for the start of the second half. Cheers.